AlanCoxShow.com. All the other stuff. I haven't checked AlanCoxShow.com to see who's helping out today in the video department. Whoopa Happernap. Hey, thanks, sir or madam. Appreciate the assistance. Hey, Woody.
Alan.
Am I going to see you on Saturday night?
You better believe it, McMillan.
All right. What's going on?
Nothing. I'm just driving back from the Union Hall, and I'm getting ready to get back home and have a cocktail. But you guys talk about the ghost pepper chip challenge that you guys lost.
Yeah.
And I don't know how weird this is going to get, but just bear with me. Isn't it weird how some things that hurt get better? And I'm going to give you 3 very strange examples, all right? A shot of Everclear 151 hurts, but it gets better because you feel better after it. Working out in a gym hurts, but you feel better after it. And, on the female aspect of it, losing your hymen hurts, but you feel better after it.
Oh, boy. Mary, you want to take this one since we're in the middle of hymen talk with Woody?
I've never had one of those.
Mary was born without one.
Amen.
She
brother.
did a lot of horseback riding, and she was very vigorous with her early tampons. So,
Lucky. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy how, I don't know where what made me think of it, but it's like, some things hurt, but feel better. All right. Like I said, a shot of Bacardi 151.
Yeah.
It hurts going down, but you immediately feel better. And I don't know where I'm going with this, but it's.
I don't either. This sounds like a call you would have made to me after you had a couple of cocktails, Woody.
Exactly. It's like is the Catholic religion right? You need.
I see. So you can it's only through pain which you can earn pleasure, is what you're saying.
You are correct.
Yeah, all that Catholic in there working, and they're not alone. Okay, you're feeling okay otherwise, Woody? Are you in good health? Ish.
I just got back. I had my doctor's visit this morning. I'm 25 pounds overweight, and other than a little athlete's foot fungus, I'm tip top, baby.
All right. Yeah. Well, good to know. Let's try to lose some of that weight. Okay. I need you in good shape for the immediate future.
Right on.
All right. I'll see you on Saturday, Woody.
You got it.
All right. I haven't seen Woody in a minute. And of course, I'll be out at the garage bar there in Willoughby. Reason that I ask Woody how he's feeling in general is that the Alan Cox Show has lost another listener.
Oh, no.
Jenna has passed away. Jenna in Poland, who called pretty frequently. Yeah, a listener texted me and said, hey, you need to go to the Feral Cats Facebook page. And they changed their profile picture to Jenna, and it's a lot of RIP, and we love you, Jenna. And so Jenna out there in Poland, who would call us pretty frequently, leave a lot of messages on the weekend. I didn't think anything of it when I came in this morning and didn't see any voicemails from Jenna. It would have never occurred to me had this person not gotten me hip to that, but obviously, condolences to her bandmates there in the Feral Cats. They were a band there in Youngstown who would perform throughout the area, and they were comprised solely of musicians with physical disabilities. And Jenna would call us a lot. I played a little segment with her called Sweet Nothings, and, she would just leave pithy little comments for us, played them quite frequently. Every once in a while, she would call in live, and that was the best part, is we would get to talk to her a little bit and kind of pick her brain about what was going on. She was always much more lucid live on the phone than, she'd call and growl a lot of times. But according to that Feral Cats Facebook page, Jenna from Poland has passed away. And so she's I don't know how young, but she was young, I think. And condolences to her family and to her bandmates there and the Feral Cats. We were talking last week about how I was concerned. I'm always concerned when we don't hear from certain people for a while. So I'm always thinking about Darnell, and I know we mentioned A.K.A. Becky. It did not even occur to me that I hadn't heard from Jenna in a minute.
I thought she called like 40 times a day. You think you would be like, even after 1 or 2 days.
Well,
like,
not that. I don't know. I mean, lately it's been Brian who's been leaving me 40 voicemails, because I put him on the air once a year, and then he just laps that up. So he's been leaving a lot of voicemails. But that's a real bummer.
I'm sorry. Did I miss how? Or they didn't
I
say?
did not see how. I don't
Okay.
know anything about that. I left a condolence comment from us here on the show.
Yeah, I saw that.
That she was always very sweet. But yeah, that Feral Cats Facebook page has a lot of condolence messages for Jenna's family. So that's a real bummer. Poundcake, your thoughts?
R.I.P. Jenna. I'm sorry. That's awful.
All right, there's Poundcake's eulogy, and I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, there's no information on that Facebook page.
You'll be missed.
You will. Always enjoyed hearing from her here on the show. We'll always have her growl, but obviously there will be no more sweet nothings with Jenna from Poland.
Is there...
I don't know. I felt like to some degree she might have been the glue holding that band together. So I certainly hope that this isn't like a John Bonzo Bonham situation where the Feral Cats will just collectively decide to call it quits.
Was she the lead singer, though?
She was a singer, and the
A
band
singer.
looks like it's probably got about 12 or 15 members in it. So, it's not that they're lacking in numbers, but they might be lacking now in spirit. And I don't know. I don't know what the... I had hopes now that we had this big old Duncan Lounge performance studio down there, Bill.
To have
I had
the Feral
hopes that we
Cats?
could get the Feral Cats in here to do a live
I mean,
performance
maybe
at some
we still
point.
can.
Well, Jenna, for me, is the focal point of that band. She was the only thing I knew about that band, and without her there and an opportunity to talk to her live on the air, I don't have much interest in that. But obviously our condolences to her family and to her bandmates there in the Feral Cats. And we lose another listener.
Mhm.
Now, she was also our connection to Darnell.
Right.
So, if we don't hear from him, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Alan, with Jenna's passing, will the show be able to go on with just 6 of us listeners left? Boy, I sure hope so. I hate to ever lose a listener, but now down to being, down to 6 of you, I won't lie to you. I didn't realize that she was one of the final 7 there. But, we haven't heard from Joe from Philly for a long time either. Now, I don't think he's
I
dead.
forgot about him for a second.
He's just a busy guy,
He hits me up on Instagram from time to time.
Yeah, people are busy. Some people, they might get tired of listening to the show or their schedule changes or something, The only real constant here is me. And so if they go, well, whatever. Alan, they don't make Bacardi 151 anymore. I never had it. I defer to Poundcake. Bacardi
Oh,
151, a white grape juice. It was
They
his big.
don't.
That was his jam back in the day. But they certainly make reasonable facsimiles to that drink. Right?
Yeah,
It's not that high, though.
they changed it to another brand, and I don't think it's as potent. But yeah, I don't know why they stopped manufacturing it. It wasn't because
People,
of sales.
You don't need it. It's so unnecessary
It
to have
was-
something that strong.
But it was like economical for me because
Well, because you could do one shot and be hammered.
okay, but that's all you want as a college student, to get drunk cheaply.
Well,
you
no,
know?
I mean, I'm in the same boat. I used to keep a bottle of 151 in the freezer.
I had a handle, yeah. I
Yeah,
had a
and-
handle of 151.
Before we'd go out, I would take a shot of that because then I'm like, oh, then I won't drink so much when I'm out, which never happened. It just made me black out faster.
Okay, so you're blaming you're saying it's not good for everybody else because you were irresponsible.
What I'm saying is that one shot of that for any human being, I don't care how much you drink, a shot of 151 will mess you up.
Well, good. I mixed it with grape juice, and that was like wine for me, and that was my drink all night. And
Why didn't you just drink wine?
Because wine, you have to drink a couple glasses to get drunk. This was, I put a little bit, I would put like a quarter in my cup and then fill the rest with grape juice, and it tastes good, and it got me messed up. So that was my drink for the whole night. I didn't have to keep refilling. I didn't have to worry about, running out of alcohol. People would go crazy. Oh, someone's drank my beer. Not me. No one would drink my 151, and it would sit up in the freezer all semester. A handle. And I forget how much it was. I feel like it was
It's not that expensive.
it was like $25 for that handle, which
And nobody else was getting on board with what you were doing.
They would take sips out of my cup because they didn't believe me. They thought it was like drinking, jet fuel, which by itself it probably was, but I made it taste good. 151 pineapple juice, 151 in white grape juice. It masks the taste. It doesn't mask the smell, though. It still smelled like fuel, but it tasted great.
Yeah, I never had it. But there are all kinds of liquors that, to Mary's point, are unnecessary.
So unnecessary.
But that's kind of the point of them. I mean,
no liquor is
Malort
necessary.
doesn't need to exist either, but
They're just looking for ways to ruin people's good time.
ruin people's good time.
Yeah, because some people are.
Yeah, but everybody also has a different tolerance as to what a good time consists
But
of,
I can,
too. So.
I can guarantee you they didn't stop selling it because it wasn't selling. Like, it wasn't because people weren't buying it. It was because someone complained, someone was drinking underage, or someone had too much, and then they got sued, and then they ruined it for everybody else.
Bacardi 151 was quietly discontinued because of lawsuits filed by people who managed to burn themselves
Bam.
while lighting the product.
See?
Yeah.
They can't handle
That was
their drink.
I think we mentioned it last week. The drop shot called the Flaming Dr. Pepper.
Dummies.
It's in the little shot glass is amaretto, and then you top it with 151, and then you light that on fire, and then you drop it into like a half pint glass of Miller Lite, and then you're supposed to chug it. But I've seen people light it on fire and then idiotically go to blow it out, and then the fire just spreads all
everywhere,
over the bar because it's like it'll stop burning it only takes like 30 seconds for it to burn off, but still.
Well, they said it implies that it's still being sold elsewhere, but discontinued in the U.S. in 2016.
That sounds about right. That was like the year I graduated. That was the year I graduated college.
And
So
you
I just
didn't need
missed
it anymore anyway.
That's not the point.
I've moved on. No, I'm saying the timing was perfect for you.
If I wanted to go back and relive my glory days, I'm like, you guys know anything about 151?
Those were the glory days.
Yes.
Wow.
Like that was, I no longer, when I was drinking underage, you had to get with the stuff that people could buy you. Like it was like Orloff, like the nasty stuff. So it was a point of pride where I can get the strong stuff for cheap. I was like, I could get real messed up off of this. I never said it tastes good, but you mix it with something else, like everything else. And it's tolerable. It was great. Oh, I miss it. I had it in my mini fridge upstairs in my room.
But I mean, they still sell Everclear.
I'm not familiar with Everclear. Like
It's
know
like the
people
same
that,
thing.
It's
that
like
have had
grain.
it.
Yeah, it's like grain alcohol.
But is
for
that-
God's. I mean, if they're worried about people lighting things
It's
on
super
fire,
high
Is
proof.
that vodka or is that rum? Because 151
It's
was rum.
grain alcohol.
yeah,
it's,
it's
neither.
like cleaning solution.
Yeah, I know people that did that. That had that had Everclear.
I used
at the time it
Everclear one time as lighter fluid because all the lighter fluid was sold.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like at the time it wasn't sold in Ohio. Like the last couple years of my college experience, they allowed it to be sold in Ohio because there were people coming from like Pennsylvania and they're like, "Hey, I got Everclear."
Well, there are states where it's illegal because they're like, yeah, one shot will double your blood alcohol content.
When
So-
you tour, we did a behind the scenes tour of Buffalo Trace distillery down in Kentucky. I went for a bar I used to work at a couple years ago, and they have what's called White Lightning, or someplace they'll call it White Dog.
Oh yeah.
It's the stuff that comes straight off the still that hasn't been like barrel aged or anything like that, and that stuff is like the 130 proof. And what they had us do is they put a little in our hands, and it literally is hand sanitizer. Like, it dries just as quickly, leaves your hands just as dry. They're like, you can drink this if you want to, but you might die. Don't lick your hand after
Yeah,
this.
when we were in Pigeon Forge years ago in Tennessee for my brother-in-law's wedding, you could go to like these roadside trailers and walk in there, and there's a bar, and they're selling shots of stuff, and like they'll give you a little nip of White Lightning, but you'll stumble out of there.
You need like half an ounce
Yeah.
to do the job. Yeah.
Yep. Like, you guys don't even serve food here.
Yeah.
They're like, nope, it's just a roadside, everybody
yeah.
down there's got their own whiskey and all that crap. But
They might have like a little thing of boiled peanuts next door or something.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I'm just reliving the glory.
But to Poundcake, those are the glory days.
it was
Because I think about the times, the reason I didn't drink between 15 and 26 is because I just got so hammered. I'm like, this is just awful, and I don't ever want to do this again. But for a lot of people, that didn't stop them.
But But that's the thing, though.
That was like to you. Those were the glory days.
I found my drink. I feel like I experimented a lot, and I found that other drinks would mess me up more than 151 because I knew my portion sizes. Like, Pinnacle makes me cry. I know that for a fact. I can't drink Pinnacle anymore. Smirnoff, that's the only drink I've ever, like, blacked out on. That was the first time, so I have a, bad taste in my mouth from that. Tequila makes me take my clothes off. So 151 was like the
Just
drink
like the song.
that
Isn't that a lot of that psychosomatic though?
Yeah, I think so.
People go, I can't drink that because it makes me cry. Like,
Some
well, because you
people
had it one time when you were
No.
like getting broken up with or something,
I
and
don't
so
know
you
about that.
associated
I had
it.
it like 3 times, and every time Pinnacle always made me cry. I was like, am I really gay, or am I just... Do I, am I
Right,
not
that's what I'm
capable of
saying.
dating
That
girls?
doesn't sound like it has to do with the vodka itself. That sounds like you happen to be having that when you were having some serious issues about your life, and
Nope, it's the vodka, Alan.
Absolute's okay. Like, Absolute's okay. Tito's okay. But everything else...
Pinnacle's a lot of sugar because they're usually flavored vodkas. But what I was going to say was like each liquor is made from different things.
Right.
So to say that those different things don't affect your body differently, I mean,
well, then maybe it's like
might
an
not-
allergy or something.
allergies don't make you cry. But I'm
I
saying,
don't
like,
know what makes him cry. That's my part. I'm just saying it's probably not just the vodka.
Well, I'm just
The
saying...
the specific brand of vodka
No,
is
and
probably
that's what
not
I
what made
mean.
him cry.
That's what I was going to say is that it's not Pinnacle. Then I would think that all vodka would make you act like that.
No, it was just specifically Pinnacle. I cried about my sexuality on Pinnacle when I ripped my shirt from hanging from the door, door frame. I cried because of that. I was on
Hangling.
Pinnacle.
Yep.
Like every
He
time,
was Herkin and Durkin.
every horrible experience I've had in college, I was always drinking Pinnacle. Like when people say, "Oh, remember when you cried?"
But that's
Yeah,
not
Pinnacle.
Pinnacle's fault.
Yes, it is.
Oh.
Yeah, it is.
All right. Well. Yeah. I mean, we used to be able to get Mad Dog at the, there was a local chain in Chicago called the White Hen Pantry. And I think they eventually turned them all into 7-Elevens or something. But White Hen Pantry, you could go in and get the Mad Dog, Boone's Farm Blackberry or Mad Dog Strawberry in like the shrink packs behind the counter. Like you would buy a squirt gun in, like the hard plastic shrink packs.
Yeah.
That's what they would have hanging up on the wall. And you could just walk in and get them. And I had plenty of friends that did that. It just wasn't for me. I remember somebody using Everclear, though, to blow fireballs in their mom's living room. And they lit one of the curtains on
Yeah.
fire. And I'm like,
Doing the most.
We were doing that.
I think I'm leaving now. I'm like, this is not for me.
We were doing that at a party that I had when I first moved to Lakewood. We were spitting fireballs. We were in the backyard, so it was
Wasn't as bad.
Yeah, but that was fun.
Poundcake, people want to know if perchance you were also listening to Celine Dion when you were drinking Pinnacle.
No, I wasn't. It
All
was
right.
party, college party music,
Yeah.
and I was fall asleep on the futon.
So you were a lot of fun. You just pass out on somebody's futon.
He sat alone, wouldn't
Yeah.
let anybody near his drink, and then would just fall
He
asleep.
was sipping seductively.
Well, I don't think
And
that's
then you
such a
just
bad thing.
lean over and fall onto their futon.
I keep people away from my drink. Yeah, I kept people away
That
from
was-
my drink. It's my drink.
That was your futon, right? That you fell asleep on? The F-ton?
The
The
F-ton.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would fall asleep on that one. That was a drunken sleep because I don't sleep on that futon.
Right.
It was strictly for effing.
Ugh. Well, all right.
Ugh.
I don't know that we'll do the Poundcake Pinnacle Challenge here on the show.
Absolutely not. I will never have that again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't co-sign that.
All right. See, he's grown up. He's becoming a fan of some more mature, finer things in life, and he's not somebody who's going to pass out on a futon anymore from drinking and crying.
But that's the thing.
Too much Pinnacle.
People think that I'm toxic, but like, what's
Who
toxic?
thinks you're toxic?
Well, I'm saying people are like, oh, I can't believe you drink 151. I'm like, well, I handle it responsibly. I'm not the one doing stupid stuff on 151. Like, I'm not, lighting it on fire and acting crazy. It was, I wouldn't say it's cheap, but it was economically efficient for me, and it got me drunk to the point where I'm like, I don't have to keep drinking. I could coast all night, and that's all I wanted to do. I just wanted to coast. Be drunk enough to fall asleep in my own bed. Maybe with a man, a lover.
Oh, God. A lover. Hey, has anybody seen Poundcake? Oh, he's taken a lover already. Back to his.
In my single bed.
Alan Poundcake was slumping seductively. Yeah.
Probably.
Uh-huh. And you didn't wake up and people had drawn on your forehead or anything like that?
Yeah, there was a particular time that did happen. It was highlighter, and I didn't know until they turned off the lights.
Yeah, of course.
Black light.
It was a black light party, and I nodded off just for a hot second. You know, in the middle of a party, you just nod off sometimes. And it wasn't until I was walking around, I went into the section of the house that was highlighter, that was neon. And everyone just started laughing at me. I didn't know why. I was like, oh, so what? I passed out. No big deal. And I had a bunch of hieroglyphics on my head.
Oh, boy.
Mm-hmm.
So you had an antiquities major then in your midst?
Yeah.
I only got drawn on like twice in my life.
Only twice?
Well, which is like for all the times I've passed out drunk. One time, my friends, I was like leaning on one arm. So like my forearm was up and then my other arm was above my head. I was on a couch, right? So on the parts of my arms that were exposed, they were putting things on me like coins and bottle caps and stuff. And then they like traced them in permanent marker. So they got a pretty good amount covered. But then for like the next 3 days, I just had a bunch of little circles and squares and like outlines.
Find it. Uh-huh.
Yeah, outlines of like a Matchbox car. They outlined a car on my arm. So it wasn't even like, haha, she fell asleep and someone drew a penis on her arm. It was like, that's a weird, are those tattoos? Why all the circles?
See, not only did I get drawn on, but I actually got drawn. Like these hoes would get drunk and then draw pictures of me because we put paper on our walls for the highlighter party. So then they drew what I looked like when I was drunk.
They drew you like one of their French girls.
On their caves.
Yeah, so people would walk in, they're like, who's that? They're like, that's him. And I'm like, bitch, did you just draw a picture of me without my consent?
That's pretty nice, though. That's nice. They were committing you to the wall there.
You're a bunch of hoes.
You were like a little cave
my
painting.
consent?
Yeah.
I own my likeness and my masters. They can't draw a picture of me at a college party without my consent.
Wow. But you were passed out.
So I can't consent.
Right.
But you also can't say no.
Okay.
All right, Cosby.
Yeah, right.
I'm fully kidding.
Woo!
New York's changed you.
Yeah.
I'm a different person.
I'm going to break. If you want to send me a text, that number is 35192. I want to go see Stained. They're back on the road. I'll have those tickets for you a little bit later on. Where is Stained coming to play? I think they're doing MGM Northfield Park. Yeah, they are. May 17th. So Stained, I'll have Cavs tickets for you later. Put you at that Cage the Elephant show, too. So we'll take a break. Be back after these. Remember, you can listen anywhere you are on that iHeartRadio app, too.
To compete in this tournament, it'll take a lot of balls and not very